In this lesson, we're going to be adding audio to our game. So we're going to be adding in some music as well as a sound effect. Now, let's go ahead and create a folder that we can put our audio into. So create folder and call it audio. And I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Now I'm going to go get our audio from over here in this folder, drag and drop it into our project. And once that's loaded up, you can see we have some audio clips here. Now what you can do is you can select one, and then in the inspector you can preview it by hitting the play button right down here. That's just a little noise I made for the sound effect for when you run into a hazard. So let's get started though by adding in our music, this clip here. What we need to do is we need to create a new object, and I'm going to rename it music player. And this is just an empty object that I created with a game object create empty, and because we don't really need anything else on it other than it needs to be in our scene, as well as we need it to be an audio source. So to make it an audio source, a source for audio of course, we need to click on add component, and then we can go down to audio, and then in the audio folder we can say we want to add an audio source. So now this can be a source for audio, and we need to make sure we assign a clip. So what sound we want this audio source to play? Well, we want to play our music, so I'm going to drag and drop our audio clip into the audio clip slot, and then I also want to make sure, okay, it's playing on awake, so it's going to play as soon as the scene starts. That's what we want. But we also want it to loop, so I'm going to check that right there, so it will loop now. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just turn down the audio a little bit because it's background sound, so you don't want it to be too high, so maybe like that's fine. If I go ahead and play it, see how that sounds. Pretty good. Okay, so cool. With that done, what we need to do is start working on adding in our audio for when the player hits a hazard. So for that, one thing we need to do is we need to go and choose our character robot boy right there, select that. And then we're going to need to add an audio source. So I'm going to go down to add component, and I'm going to do the same way, audio source. Okay, cool. So we have that here now. So now what we need to do is just drag and drop our audio clip into here. So it's going to be the hit sound effect. And I'm going to make sure it doesn't play on awake because we don't want it to play automatically when the level starts. We want to tell it when to play. And now we can go into one of our scripts here to get this to be triggered. So scripts, health manager, because that's where we're checking for the collision with a hazard. So open up that. And now we need to add some a variable to reference our audio source. So public, and it's going to be an audio source. And we can just call it source. Just like that. Okay, now we want the clip that's attached to our audio source to play when our character collides with a hazard. So right here is where we can put that. So we just need to say source dot play, and it will play the audio clip that's assigned to it. So we'll save that. Now I need to make sure we assign that in the inspector. So I'm going to go ahead and select our character and go down to the inspector, and we need to assign this. So it's just drag and drop our character onto this because that's where we have our audio source located that we want to have play our hit sound. So now if I run into this, there we go. Cool. So now we have sound effects and music in our game. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson.